Ever wondered what makes TV so powerful in Jamaica? Time to find out. Welcome to Global TV Group 358, where television meets innovation. We're not just about shows, we're about shaping society. In Jamaica, TV keeps you informed, connects diverse voices, and supports democracy. Imagine a Jamaica where broadcasters unite, sharing data and collaborating globally. That's us, a unified voice in the TV industry. Did you know TV advertising is still king? It drives website traffic, boosts brand equity, and powers integrated campaigns. Even in an age of digital, TV stands strong, resilient in tough times. Our global TV deck is your treasure trove of insights and data. With charts, graphs, and success stories, it's your guide to impactful TV advertising. Curious to learn more? Visit our website and see how Global TV Group 358 keeps television at the heart of entertainment in Jamaica. Get ready to binge watch the future.
For me again, you can't for me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scallion, we can't buy time. You can't for me again. Can't for me again. You can't for me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. You touch up line and a resort to crime. You can't for me again.
What we gonna eat no money, what we at you, eat no at you. Covid money, me say we eat the your little rat you. Use the youth, the money, waste and bust a man to statue. Say me like a cash you, but bigger than a figure you. Take this spit of money, girl, and say that is not you. On the head, the man above him, him a got a bet. Too much it in the kitchen, some a fly by like a patu. When singers and DJs and social media's coming at you.
It burn me.
300%
It burn me.
Garbage pile of the day.
It burn me.
Give the teacher them raise.
It burn me.
I see corruption face.
It burn me.
Mash down the people them house.
It burn me.
Every day appear arms out.
It burn me.
Appear money them a thief.
It burn me.
And them a sell out the beach.
Can't for me again. You can't for me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scallion, we can't buy time. You can't for me again. Can't for me again. You can't for me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. You touch up line and a resort to crime. You can't for me again.
Come me say dig up all the charities and all of the givers. Some a go like say them powerful, me no make a bigger. The already promises, none of them not deliver. Cut up the youth, they rap and they down in our river. Member bowl money and they lie them tell. Corruption smell and they pocket them swell. When police don't a market like Satan out of hell, go mash up people start like people themselves.
It burn me.
On they treat the market man.
It burn me.
On them a treat the cat man.
It burn me.
On them treat the peanut man.
It burn me.
On them a treat the dirt man.
It burn me.
On them a treat the son man.
It burn me.
On them a treat policeman.
It burn me.
How them a treat soldier man.
It burn me.
How them a treat everyone.
Can't for me again. You can't for me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scallion, we can't buy time. You can't for me again.
Stibby-dim day. We in Global TV say certain kind of friend we no cape. And some informer friend we love lake. We in Global, bona fake friend and bona tape. We in Global, we not promote them, we not support them. Look at them on the cheek, come here represent for. We in Global TV, check it.
Voice check me, please. Either the law isn't the law or the law does not apply to the Prime Minister. Sound check me, please, so that I know that you can hear me on YouTube. I know that Instagram and TikTok can hear me. Good morning and welcome. Can you sound check me on YouTube, please? Give me a sound check on YouTube. Let me know that you can hear me. Can you hear me on YouTube? If you're hearing me on YouTube, can you let me know loud and clear? Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Good morning and welcome. It's another disgraceful morning for the Prime Minister. Another disgraceful leadership crisis in our country. Where do we start this morning? Good morning to the Prime Minister of Jamaica. Good morning to the very good friend of the Prime Minister, Mr. Norman Brown, an appointee of the Prime Minister in 2 state entities. Good morning. We have to nice them up, you know. We have to sweet them up, because you know, one hog for bite, you have to scratch the hog belly side. And then when you scratch the hog belly side, the hog kind of go into this loopy, shaky mood and then lie down. So you have to scratch the hog belly this morning. You rush the hog may rush your back. Let us scratch the hog belly this morning. Good morning. We're good. We're good up, Prime Minister. Good morning. How are you, sir? How are you, Prime Minister? We have to friend you up in it. We can't do better. You know? We really can't do better, Prime Minister, so might as well we just friend you up. To my community of part and all my family members, platform moderators, membership holders, dear subscribers to my trolls, good morning and welcome, Debbie Jarvis TV. Good morning. Good morning. Who else is here? Beat and Teach, good morning and welcome. Good morning. Sharon Bernard, good morning. Good morning, Sunshine. Good morning, Jason Kane. Raja Wagwan, bro, how you doing? Sandra Ellis, good morning. Shadia Baniris. You never see with the pan group call yesterday, Raja, you never jump in. Vincent Dinham, Abinessa Cody, Rennie Harlan, Nasir Gray, Fiona Burnett. Good morning. Good morning, Vincent. Daphne, good morning. Bernice, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. What a disgrace. We have to take time talk, you know. Because we free the labor right, them run out, come beat we. So we bad mind and we target them Prime Minister. So we have to take time talk this morning.
19.
I couldn't leave this stage without saying to you that corruption is not an issue that occupies the front of my mind. I couldn't leave here today and say to you that we still need to tighten up on the new anti-corruption systems and framework that is in place.
Good morning. Long time no care now. Good morning.
In a sense, if you were to compare Jamaica to all the other countries in the Caribbean, our framework for anti-corruption would be the most advanced. It is not for want of putting in the legislative and institutional processes. They are there. But you have to bear in mind that we are also very new on the scale of dealing with anti-corruption issues. So there is a learning curve that we are going through. What is important is that the government supports the development of the institution so it can accelerate very quickly on that learning curve and provide the resources so that they can move very quickly on the learning curve, and that the government does not intervene or interfere. And that message goes to the opposition as well. Leave the anti-corruption and policing agencies to do their jobs.
Kid Bumbo old boy, his father God. Oh, he lie and blood clot me when me tell him that. What a wicked Bumbo old boy, his father God. Oh, he lie and blood clot me when me tell him that.
I want to speak to Norman Brown separate and apart from the Prime Minister, Mr. Norman Brown. You and the Prime Minister have whole heap of dealings, Mr. Brown, Marjorie Goldberg. one whole truckload of it. The bit that we are concerned about this morning, Mr. Brown, is your challenge to the Integrity Commission. In light of yesterday's report, Norman Brown, even though we knew Christine Gilbert, Dean Hamilton, Canadian girl, Joan Bailey, we knew even before yesterday, Norman Brown, your case will not and could never be successful what you're asking the courts to do in the judicial review that you're asking leave to apply for. I'm sure the court isn't going to give you leave. But a respectful thing to do, Mr. Brown, is to pull that application from the court. The very issue, Mr. Brown, that you're challenging, where the Integrity Commission spoke about a potential conflict of interest, Mr. Brown. That conflict of interest raised yesterday in the Integrity Commission report. Do not waste our public time, Mr. Brown. What you ought to be doing at this moment is handing your resignation from both the NHT and the is it CDU? A CDU in there, isn't it? But those two state entities that the Prime Minister appointed you to chair, where you report to the Prime Minister, you're a close friend of the Prime Minister, you're a shareholder in a company with the UDC. Thank you. You're a shareholder in a company with the Prime Minister, owned by the Prime Minister, which is in breach of planning law, planning regulation. How is it then, Mr. Brown, that you can continue with confidence to challenge the Integrity Commission when the very same thing that they spoke about, they never said, we have seen conflicts of interest. They said, if not managed, there could be a potential conflict of interest. That is what Mr. Brown is challenging in front of the courts, or want to challenge. Derek Gale, Dean, Dwight Burton on TikTok, good morning. This is what Mr. Brown wants to challenge in front of the court. I'm quite confident that Mr. Brown will not be given leave, as the Prime Minister has received, to challenge certain aspects of what he wants to challenge, even though it's a much do of nothing that will go nowhere. Sandra, how are you? Paula Shelley, Jason King, RJ. Kathy, how are you? Thank you. It's a much of do nothing at all. Mr. Brown should not waste the court time. Mr. Brown should resign. Mr. Brown should pull his case from in front of the court, his application for leave, and Mr. Brown should also resign. Mr. Brown control all our beaches backside. Mr. Brown ought to resign, and he ought to pull his case from in front of the court. The conflict of interest that he's challenging surfaced yesterday. This then, Mr. Your name, is what you call in law a frivolous claim. It does not have a legal basis, Mr. So-and-so. You're just been up in our face too much. I am Nikki White. Good morning. Just up in our face, Mr. Brown. You ought to pull that case from in front of the court, and you ought to resign. Given your close relationship with the Prime Minister, your business relationship with the Prime Minister, your appointee to two state up to state entities reporting to the Prime Minister. You cannot continue with this shadow. The Prime Minister is another separate kettle of fish, Mr. Brown. I'll say good morning. But you cannot continue. Andrew Holness has asked a lot of people to step aside Marcia Thomas for standing in public life. Andrew Holness refused to sit in Parliament with Portia Simpson and his corrupt lot, Karen Demard. But it's corruption, high street corruption, where anybody can just pass and walk in. Since this Prime Minister, 2022, this Prime Minister was in an integrity debacle. It's only because corrupt Keisha refused to charge the Prime Minister then for the contract the Prime Minister awarded when the Prime Minister was at the Ministry of Education to friends and all sorts. Come back 2024, the Prime Minister is in an integrity crisis again. The Prime Minister for almost 5 years cannot have his statutory declaration certified. This is a crisis, Jamaica. This is a leadership and integrity crisis in our country. Shauna Smith-Ian heirs. Andrew Holness cannot and should not allow to continue with such a shadowy leadership of our country. It gives us a nasty look locally and internationally across the region. We're mobbed by corruption and violence. We are the top 2 murder capital under this government. Our roadways have collapsed because this Prime Minister, prospective power, cannot do the work of the people when this Prime Minister is always trying to hustle somebody, Ladybug. The Prime Minister is always on a hustle for something. So this Prime Minister cannot and will not be able to do the people's business. If the Prime Minister is running so much company, so much bank accounts, studying full-time degree, stealing here, stealing there, looting here, looting there, lying there. The Prime Minister cannot have time, Rosemary Samuels, to look after the business of our country. Let us chutter through our slide. The information that I have, that I will bring to you, it's from the Integrity Commission report, but it's not the exact report. I have the report, thanks to Christine Gilbert. I managed to get hold of it because the website is still blocked. The Integrity Commission website is still blocked. I have no idea. Even when you try to access their page from the link the Integrity Commission posts on Twitter, you cannot get access to the page. So what I have done to save me time, because I'm not going to read through the 60-odd pages until on the weekend. When I have these many pages to flip through, I rather do them on the weekend. Joan Byfield, how are you? But what I have done, I have asked my intelligent AI to crop me out some important bits of the report that you and I will go through this morning. Should we ask the Prime Minister to resign, or should we just hope that the Prime Minister may have like a shame and resign? Spice Girl Edna Williams, Sandy, we're outside, Trevor King, Apple Pie, and of course, Max Romeo. Don't bother start this morning, Max Romeo, because you always follow me, go everywhere on social media and drag me. Please do not drag me this morning, Max Romeo. Go and read the Integrity Commission report. It's there, so I just warn you. Anyway, Yvonne Green, how are you? Me don't know if Andrew have no shame, Master Gray, to resign, or we should ask him or force him. But it's getting out of control. You cannot have a leader who plan to strengthen the legislative framework for anti-corruption, strengthen institutions such as the Integrity Commission. And this Prime Minister, who said those words in 2019, is in a headlock, Unique Ray, at this moment with the Integrity Commission Look Your TV ventures on many different issues. Many different issues. I don't know what is happening in the Prime Minister's leadership. But let's chutter to our slide at the moment. You see the Prime Minister and him thieving friend, because there's a lot more that the Prime Minister, Norman Brown, is involved in. You know, you want to tell us about what you knew or know, Norman Brown, about you or the Prime Minister's involvement in the backside industry? Just, if you have the time, Mr. Brown, you can enlighten us. But anybody wants to beat me this morning. If Andrew Holness doesn't have shares in that company, I wonder who else do you know Estate Bridge? Max Romeo. Who when Andrew sell out all of the shares in the Estate Bridge? Oh Jesus, Starlet here. That's good morning. Good morning. You know. But Max Romeo, me not go have your way this morning. I'm going to continue with my program. All right, Prime Minister, you say we are target you. We are target your Prime Minister. So what? There's a good old saying, Prime Minister, if you have nothing to fear, you have nothing to hide. Meaning, Prime Minister, if you're not fearful of being exposed, the information you are withholding from the Integrity Commission in order for them to have your statutory declaration certified, if you have nothing to fear, Prime Minister, you have nothing to hide. So what if we want to target you? What if we want to know where the stolen money are? What if we want to know if you have become worse than the Spanish Town goat, them, Prime Minister? Anybody know about Spanish Town goat? In the 70s and 80s, most of them would tackle you for your shopping bag or bus stop. The Prime Minister, you have become worse than Spanish Town goats. Because anybody know about Spanish Town goat? Marcia Gray and Marcia Gale. Anybody know about Spanish Town goat, Prime Minister? Know them would tackle you a bus stop for your shopping bag. Is it that the Prime Minister has become worse than the goats in Spanish Town, or the goat them who used to come at Spanish Town bus stops, or would they know people that with bag come lay with you? This has disgracefully gotten out of hand. It is not one, it is not two, it is not three, it's the unrunning, unfolding issue. The Prime Minister is going to come out of office and his integrity debacle is not being cleared up. Because what the bid in front of the court will go nowhere to do what the Prime Minister wants. In fact, the Prime Minister lost round 1 and he is going to lose round 2. Norman Brown is going to lose round 1. There will not be a round 2 for Norman Brown. It is a disgraceful thing to see how the leader of our country is being seen on the international scene. How this Prime Minister is being flashed across the world for his corrupt practices, his debacle, his headlock with the Integrity Commission from he set it up until now. From you, Prime Minister Andrew Holness, set up the Integrity Commission until now, you're in a headlock with them. And you want us to take your side against two retired judges and a pool of eloquent lawyers, Mr. Holness. 2 retired judges, and a pool of eloquent lawyers, and you want us to take side with you, who we found you wanting when you was at the Ministry of Education. You have been found wanting for your time as leader. You cannot verify your earnings, your asset to your earnings. Come again, company linked to you, your son, your sister, and your friend, violate building permission, planning permission. Patricia Williams, Novlet Blake, Colin Richards. Prime Minister, it can't be that you won in a so much integrity issue and something no wrong, Prime Minister. Oh, Max Romeo Vegas. Vegas can go on. She can go on with her galangin. Because everywhere it looks like Vegas have a social media fetish, because them just run from page to page, irritating everybody. Little girl, go sit down. No, you know, some people tired of you. You know, see somebody not take notice of you, little girl. Go on, go sit down. And give people a chance to have their democratic speech. Go and go turn on your platform and stop following the people page. You're too fetish. Claudette Robbins, good morning. How are you? Let's trot along to our slide. So yes, Norman Brown, that challenge, pull it, Carl Paul. Pull it. Nah, it's waste of money, Norman, and waste of court time. The court shouldn't need to hear that at all. So pull it, because the conflict of interest has surfaced. So that's the Andrew Holness galangin Wema bill, what is planning permission if the bill 2-bedroom apartments and him got be consisted of 4-bedroom apartment and 2 townhouse instead of 2-bedroom townhouse that were approved by the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Violet Watson, how are you? Correct me if I'm wrong, Beat and Teach. Is it not the same issue as well that the wife, she was meant to build 1 and 2 bedrooms for her $800 million development, and she went on to build 2 and 3 bedrooms? Did she not have a similar situation like that with the KSAMC as well? Correct me if I'm wrong. What is about the NWC, man? Who we're talking about? Mark Barnett, Lilith Foster, how are you? What about NWC? Let me look back in our comments to see if. That was for the. Oh, you were saying that was the NWC chairman. But the NWC chairman never step aside, beat and teeth. Then just interdict him and still pay him. There's no ruling against him, and them still pay him, and we can't hear when we're going to pay the man, or when the man is going to go on his merry way. Are you saying, Michael Nepper, that I'm correct by saying Juliet Holness had the same issue as well, where she built beyond? No, it's the chairman of Beat and Teachers saying it's the chairman of that was related to the chairman of NWC. That was the Mount Barnett situation, because they had that situation too, and we still pay Mount Barnett for nothing at all. Let's trot along to our slide. So those are some of the pictures, evidential wise, Alex, what going, bro? You good? That the Integrity Commission report, affix to their report, because you will see from the information we picked out as to how they come to their decision that the Prime Minister, the company linked to the Prime Minister, his children, his sister, and his friend violated planning permission. But let's get to all right. These information were taken out of the report by my AI. It doesn't take away that this is not the exact information in the report. It's because I want to take out certain pieces of information to bring to you. Thank you, Alex. I want to take out certain pieces of information to bring to you so I don't have to chutter through the whole report when I'm online. So the overview of the report, the document is a report concerning irregularities in the construction of the residential development at number 2 Whitecliff Close, Beverly Hills, Kingston, Jamaica, contrary to the terms of the building permit issued by to Estate Bridge Holdings Limited by the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation. And Estate Bridge is the company linked to the Prime Minister. Who are the shareholders in Estate Bridge? I have to pull up this by my phone because I can't read that on a computer. Give me a little bit of time. Righty, Prime Minister. So the directors of Estate Bridge Holdings Limited are Sidrea Anderson, the Prime Minister's sister. She was appointed July 22, 2020. Norman Brown, appointed July 22, 2020. Norman Brown is the friend of the Prime Minister. Norman Brown is also appointed by the Prime Minister to 2 state entities, the National Housing Trust and the CUD something another. Then you have Adam Holness, that would be Adam Holness, the son of the Prime Minister, appointed on the 29th of March in 2001. The shareholders of Estate Bridge Limited, Imperium Investment is one of the shareholders. Hold on. Imperium Investment Holding initially hold 5,001, but 1,000 are forfeited on January 28, 2001, and then remaining 4,001 were surrendered in 2022. Who was it surrendered to? Because Imperium Holding Limited is the Prime Minister's galangin as well. Go back to this. Number 4, Adam Holness, 2,000 ordinary shares, acquired 1,000 share on the 28th of January 2021, and an additional share of 1,000 share on the 29th of March 2021. So the Prime Minister is just pushing and shoving things there. It's not like him selling them or it go to people when under control for. It's still in his same family and friendship regime. Michelle Lewis Wilson. Let us go on to the next slide and see what we got. Yes, the Prime Minister, even your children, them, your jaw in the crime. But take one pin, Prime Minister, before we go further, make an ask you one question. It look like you and your wife thief separately. Because at no time in your stealing, Prime Minister, we've never seen anything to do with your wife in your stealing. It's either your mother, your father, your children, your sister, your constituent, your friend. We cannot say Prime Minister. Thanks for the shower, my dear. And I know I'm a dog shit, my dear, but come and walla in on me, all right? That's what you're doing, dog shit. When I labor right, isn't it? And labor right love walla in a dog shit. So come walla in on me, my dear. That's all you have to do. You don't have to make yourself look a bit cheap. Just come walla. Anyway, get on with it. So the Prime Minister, look like you and your wife not thief together, because at all time, somebody else involved in your thieving with that. You pick them, your sister, your mother, your father, your friend, your constituents. Prime Minister in thieving, sister. Right. The next question the AI asks: how did KSAMC fail in their responsibilities? Let me pull it up on my phone. The Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation failed in their responsibility by not ensuring compliance with the terms and conditions of the building permit issued to Estate Bridge and the development at number 2 Wycliffe Close. Despite conducting 3 inspections, their documentation suggests that the development was compliant at all stages. However, the DI inspector revealed significant deviation from the approved building plan, indicated that the KSAMC did not effectively monitor and enforce adherence to the permit conditions. Who was the head at the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation? Who you said disrespectful, Jesse? The Prime Minister. It is said, I don't know if this is true, that Delroy Williams Feder is a relative of the Prime Minister. Porridge Boss, good morning. It is said Delroy Williams, former mayor of the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation, is a relative of the Prime Minister, Arsenal Reeves, and it's Beckford, Coates Marine. If that is true, then you would see how things go, because Feder would be under a duty to make sure there is compliance by Estate Bridge, given what they have permitted. Feder and the corporation made it clear that they went there and inspect, and nothing was untoward. Everything was going to plan, says Feder. Cousin Myrna, how are you? Everything was going to plan, says Feder. But when the Integrity Commission went there and they took photographic evidence, they do their inspection, they review documents of KSAMC and the planning permission that was given. How is it? And KSAMC and Feder needs to explain to the public, how is it that the Integrity Commission saw something completely different from what the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation saw? Feder must explain that to us. Feder must explain that to us. How is it that Feder and his team saw something completely different to what the Integrity Commission saw. The Integrity Commission provided evidence. I wonder if FEDA will be able to counteract that with evidence, given that FEDA did not make sure him doing job by making sure that Estate Bridge comply. That Estate Bridge complied with what he was, the permission that was given. So them can come out and have the Prime Minister come tell people, is this my Orville? No. No, that's not my cousin. How is it the Prime Minister will come tell us that, oh no, I take them a take set panel, like seriously, Prime Minister? Are you saying the law must look sideways when they see you coming? It's either the law isn't the law, Andrew Holness, or it really does not apply to you. But before we continue, let's remind the Prime Minister of what he said in 2019, because it wasn't said by me. I'm only the one who is reminding the Prime Minister of his utterances.
2019.
I couldn't leave this stage without saying to you that corruption is not an issue that occupies the front of my mind. I couldn't leave here today and say to you that we still need to tighten up on the new anti-corruption systems and framework that is in place. In a sense, if you were to compare Jamaica to all the other countries in the Caribbean, our framework for anti-corruption would be the most advanced. It is not for want of putting in the legislative and institutional processes. They are there. But you have to bear in mind that we are also very new on the scale of dealing with anti-corruption issues. So there is a learning curve that we are going through. What is important is that the government supports the development of the institution so it can accelerate very quickly on that learning curve and provide the resources so that they can move very quickly on the learning curve, and that the government does not intervene or interfere. And that message goes to the opposition as well. Leave the anti-corruption and policing agencies to do their jobs.
Let me make it clear to you all over TikTok, branding me as a PNP. Please. I'm taking a problem to the Lord in prayer. Let me talk about my country. Let me talk about corrupt leadership. John Campbell, how are you? Let me speak. Ivan Riley, how are you doing? Let me speak about corrupt leadership. It is the leader that makes the decision of the country. It's the leader of the country that we are to hold accountable. When PNP come in power, we will hold them accountable. If go back and listen, me show them on YouTube, can you TikTok them no record. If me no hold my golden accountable for lackluster and in laziness, lady, go on. Too early for you, big man, come with your nonsense. Anyway, let's get back to the IC. Right, next question. What are the findings and recommendations in the report? Let's move on. So findings and recommendations. So you have number one, issuance of permits. The requested planning approval and building permit for constructing 4 two-bedroom units at 2 Wycliffe Close were properly issued by the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation to Estate Bridge on the 12th of July 2021. You know, I will always go here, me confused when me refer to numbers. Numbers are a big problem for me. The don'ts when it comes to numbers. Number 2, breach of permit conditions. The development was found to consist of 4-bedroom townhouse instead of the approved 2-bedroom townhouse. That is the violation, yes? Breaching the terms and conditions of the building permit, Section 17, subsection 1 of the Building Act. Number 3, misleading misrepresentations. Inconsistent statement by Mayors Brown and Nesbitt. Mayors Brown and Nesbitt were attempt to mislead the commission. Mr. Brown initially stated that development consisted of 4 2-bedroom townhouse, but later contradicted this in a judge-ruled interview. Mr. Nesbitt also made conflicting statements about the number of bedrooms and the reason for demolishing partition walls. Those demolition of partition walls, the Integrity Commission provided evidence of them in their report, and those of you on YouTube, you can see those are what the Integrity Commission are referring to. Let's get back to where we were. I think we're going to go over to number 3 now. No, number 4. Deliberate breach. Bullfrog Wagon. Sharon Bernard. Deliberate breach, Norman Ferguson. The breaches were deliberate. The IC is saying the breaches were deliberate, with at least one director, Mr. Norman Brown. Norman Brown is the friend of the Prime Minister, a shareholder in Estate Bridge, an appointee to 2 state entity reports to the Prime Minister. Mr. Norman Brown, aware of the 4-bedroom layout before December 4, 2023, Mr. Nesbitt, the contractor, either conspired with or aided and abetted the director in the breach. That's a crime. That is a crime. And let's go on to number 5 now. Hold on. So number 5, KSAMC failure. The Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation failed to ensure compliance with the building permit terms as their inspection did not detect the deviation founded by the Director of Investigation. And then we're going to move on to the recommendations that the IC made in their report. The report is there. Anyone on this grunt to that thing allow me to tell? If you're not blocked from the IC website, send me a WhatsApp and I can forward you the report so you can read through for yourself. When you can read through for yourself, you know, look like a way a make-up story. Tell you no. Okay. Recommendations. Let me go on my phone here. Recommendations. Number 1. enhance monitoring. The Chief Executive Officer of the KSAMC should implement additional measures to make sure adherence to Section 33 and 34 of the Building Act regarding inspection and post-permit monitoring responsibilities. Number 2, administrative review. The KSAMC should conduct an administrative review of its compliance regime for building permits, including a capacity assessment of human resources and technical competences of enforcement officers. Process should not be made corruption proof. Processes should be made corruption proof, meaning there should be no room left for corruption, no air hole that corruption can seep through. Nothing left where corruption can hide or abide. Assessment, number 3, assessment and action. The KSAMC should assess and identify breaches and take necessary actions to achieve compliance with the Building Act. Number 4, let's slip over. Number 4, legislative changes. The Director of Investigation reiterates recommendations from a previous report suggesting legislation to impose penalties on developers who willfully violate building permits and for financial gains, including forfeiture of profits and debarment from future approvals. Collaboration between the Registrar of Title, local authority, and other entities should ensure titles are not issued for development in breach of permits. Number 5, referral to the Kingston and Sinanju Corporation. Given the DPP ruling in a similar matter, the DI recommended, the similar matter would be referring to the NWC Barnett, I would believe. Given the DPP ruling in a similar matter, the DPP ruling in a similar matter, the DI recommends referring this report to the KSAMC for appropriate action instead of the DPP. Now, the People's National Party need to come out and advise us on this, the head of the KSAMC, because in the issue of Mark Barnett, which this similar issue occurred, the DPP ruled then that time has passed. But what the DPP said then, time has passed for NEPA and the DPP, but it has not passed for the KSAMC to impose penalties on Mark Barnett. Andrew Holness and his breaches or estate bridge and their breaches would have fallen into this same, where KSAMC ought to make a ruling on these issues. And if you don't do it KMC, it means that UNO are help to aid the corruption of Andrew Holness. Because now we see why, Lord, we can't even find Omania now. What's your name? What's your call her? Joy. At the Joy she did name. When Joy did a Walla, when Ennis step aside. But in any case, the voting power of the people One don't have the power to run the KSMC, and this is why one is so confused, because on the dirty deeds that Feder Delroy Williams was protecting, he's no longer there, Lawrence Wood, to give you all that protection. He's no longer there. So Toria come to Bob. Hold on, what teeth. Right, let's move on. How did the DI determine compliance issue? Now, this is the process that the Director of Investigation went through to establish that the compliance to the permit were not met. The DI determined compliance issue through several investigative actions. Number one, site inspection, which means going to the actual site and look with their natural eye and take photographic evidence. The DI conducted unannounced site visit. So the DI just turn up. Them never phone them and say, we're coming to inspect the site on this particular day, XYZ, blah, blah, blah. So the DI just turn up and they did their inspection, run one list, and that's what they saw. Vinmore Johnson. Jeanette Jones, how you do? That's what they saw. The DI conducted unannounced site visit to the development at number 2 Wycliffe Close on multiple occasions, not just one. During these inspections, the DI compared the actual construction with the approved, with the approved building plan and found significant deviation. Specifically, the development consisted of 4 4-bedroom unit instead of the approved 4 2-bedroom units. Number 2, review of documentation. The DI reviewed the building permit and the planning approval document issued by the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation, which specified the construction of 4 2-bedroom townhouses. Real sweet, how are you? Let's move on. Number 3, witness statements. Elaine Palmer. The DI obtained and review witness statement from individuals involving in the development, including directors of estate bridge and building contractors. These statements provide insight into the construction process and reveal inconsistencies in the representation made by individual. Representation means you said what was not true. You give a total different image of what was there. You tell them, say, a post there, and when them go there, them go find out, say, it's just a dog, but it look like him small like a puss. So it was a misrepresentation where you tell me, say, it's not a puss, you know, it's not a puss, it's a poodle. It's not a puss, it's a poodle. It's only because them little and them low down adult, you think it's what you saw. So that's the game they were playing, misrepresenting what the actual facts were. Inspection reports. The Director of Investigation examined the inspection reports prepared by the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation field officer. Despite these reports indicating compliance, so when the field officer of Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation, we would want to know who him is, go out and do the inspection, him come back and say, there is compliant, boss, everything all right, Andrew Holness or somebody meet me around the phone, drop a thing in my answer, everything all right, says the municipal corporation, who should be making sure that the estate bridge complied. The DI-owned inspection revealed that the actual construction did not form the approved plan. Let's move on to the next slide. Number 5, photographic evidence. Photographic evidence. Why them Indian boy love trouble people on TikTok so anyway, get on with it. Don't let them upset you. Number 5, photographic evidence. The DI collected photographic evidence during site inspection, documenting the deviation from the approved building plan, such as additional partition walls and changes in room layouts. Number 6, cross-referencing information. The DI cross-referenced the statements, inspection report, and photographic evidence to identify discrepancies and confirm the breaches of the building permission and condition. Through these methods, the DI concluded that the development was not in compliance with the terms and condition of the building permit issued by Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation. We not call your name. We just show you say everything you do upside down and back way. We not call your name pan you this morning because we know that you want. Beggar Harris Strong. Somebody got drop fire coal in your hand. Somebody Harris Strong and Jamaica. Somebody got drop fire coal in our hand because we can't run a country pan begging. Because if we economy are just so good and we still have to walk and beg. See, Japan just sent some Land Cruiser there. What if Bobby Monte can never rob up the whole heap of vehicle them? I wonder how much we would have. But then again, you could have sent Land Cruiser, you could have sent roller, bulldozer, grader, Jamaica Road are going to mash it up. It's as simple as that. Don't matter what you send. The road condition we have in Jamaica at the moment is going to mash up everything called vehicle. But we cannot continue if the economy are so good to keep walking, begging, and all out we hand every day. We're not afraid, somebody drop a hot fire coal in our hand. If the economy are so good, we shouldn't see it pan we road them. We shouldn't see it in a public sector workers being paid adequately, rather than you have them striking here, striking there, and all over the whole place. Nothing is working, Prime Minister. You think it is working. You think it is going right. The integrity issue alone, Prime Minister, is disgraceful to continue with. Oh no, thief, $3 trillion. $3 trillion unaccounted for. 2 years of what you can say the People's National Party is responsible for. And up until today, not a soul can account for dime. Imagine that 3 billion unaccounted for. The budget for 2024, 2025 financial year, that Nigel Clark last budget was $1.3 trillion. So what they have swindled out of our country could run the country for 2 years. Could run the country over 2 budget. Raymond G. Wagwan, bro. That could run the country over 2 annual budget. $3 trillion. This Prime Minister, and just integrity debacle the Prime Minister is in. The recent debacle that the Prime Minister is in, look at the NEPA scandal. It's another environmental breach of an entity or an agency within the Prime Minister's office. And those who pollute the environment were relieved of culpability without the DPP session or no. Matthew Samuda said me only hear it on radio. Mr. Walden said, I didn't remember that I signed a piece of document. The Prime Minister, who is the Minister of Economic Growth and Job Creation, which NEPA falls under, have not opened his mouth yet, have not spoken to the nation with regards to that issue. Everybody just don't know. So it looks like there's a duppy walking through our government with a pen, signing off things that we pay people to have oversight on. But them a come tell we say, you know, the duppy come sign it. A duppy sign it, you know, it never really signed by we. It's the duppy them come sign it. Which recent claim you say got debunked, Bernard? What recent, which one of the claim when we make you talk about, you say, has been debunked? Could you say? Got all heap of things, Mr. So remind me which one that's been debunked. But every time a report surface for the Prime Minister, on a group up and ready for war with people who is analyzing what them say in the report. And on me write the Integrity Commission report. And on me put the Prime Minister Carlos Wagwan, bro. And on me put the Prime Minister in the mix-up when in. Everything is the Prime Minister own doing. If you don't want to read the report for yourself, just get an AI tool on your phone and ask the AI to extract the important bits of the report, just like I did this morning. The Unstoppable one. How are you? Because I never have time to go through the full report last night because I'm tired. And even if I'm tired, reports and court ruling, I only read them something on weekend. I have time for them something that week. So just like what I asked my brilliant AI, can you extract me these important bits of the judgment, the overview, who are the shareholders, the findings, the recommendations? Ask your AI, man. Your AI can help you. And if you can't read one sentence there in the words up when having on a phone, when you're not in it, it will so no to one button down the bottom with the read aloud. When you touch it, it starts to read the document for you. Sometimes when I'm lazy, I just ask my computer to read to me. You see, just like how people tell your people business and you remember it, you can ask the computer to read your book. You can ask them to read your essay. You can ask them to read your report. And if you listen well, and you mind people business well enough, you'll remember what was read to you. A lot of books that I've read I've read them audio. Doesn't mean that I did not collect the information or don't remember some of the information. But I know we put the Prime Minister into what the Prime Minister has ended up in. It's the Prime Minister's own crooked dealings. Because if this Prime Minister was doing things fair and just, the Prime Minister wouldn't be in this problem. In 2 years, in 1 year, there's 2 reports. In 1 year, 2 reports that concerns the Prime Minister. Brother, no one said the Prime Minister not have share in an estate bridge or whatever. Uno can misinform on yourself as to what it is. But the Prime Minister push for him side and say, son, hold on paya, so sister, hold on paya, so come in a one and chaga over me one. So the Prime Minister, Ransford McLean, how you do? Chin happiness. Can play in chicken-aki game with honor. Thanks, Toya. I know that I'm a wicked PNP because it looks like nobody know that Jamaica outside of PNP and Labour, you see. Nobody in Jamaica don't have independence. When you speak, you must be a Labourite or a PNP. Because no here say Andrew Holness pay me $5,000. When you hear say Andrew Holness pay me $5,000. So therefore, when I come out here to speak, I must protect the Prime Minister. When I come out here to speak, I must look away from what is in the public of the Prime Minister's chicanery, the Prime Minister's corruption, the Prime Minister's inability to even prove to you who are defending him that my asset that I have, I can vote for them. I can tell you where I got my wealth from. I can tell you where I got my wealth from. The Prime Minister cannot say that. It is why the Prime Minister is in the debacle he's in with his integrity. It's not that people are making up things on him. The good old saying, Estina time, if you have nothing to fear, you have nothing to hide. What is the Prime Minister fearful of? What is the Prime Minister hiding from? A lot of JLP supporters are coming out and speaking out and turning their back on the Prime Minister. I don't see a reason for some of you running around trying to defend the Prime Minister's uselessness of defending himself. The Prime Minister cannot even come out and defend himself. But then you have a whole lot of social media followers who just run around defend the Prime Minister for no reason. I don't have no interest in defending no politician around here because no politician ain't paying me. And politician can't pay me because politician pay a little bit.
Well, let me lose off for you to blood clot a conference, man. You make the whole of it look like a blood clot fool. Come to think of it, you know. I think this man has sell the blood clot election to market, you know. I tell you, millions him I get to sell out to the blood clot. Can't look a sell out, man, you know. You're going back a conference again with the light bomb clot. Advance on people when you tell the people them that 2 years already, man. And you a fuck up the party, you know, Mr. Andrew Holness. Right now, me I tell you, make me feel shame. As a big labor rights supporter, you make me feel shame. And you know, say me a no bias man when me a blood clot talk, and me not put my mouth a ground and talk when me a talk. You gone back again, gone fool the people them and tell them about light blood clot scam. When you tell them it already, do you know expect the people them that you know them bumbo clotted, you know nothing else to tell the people them? No, you're going to talk about you take out GTC after that because Canada do the same blood clotting. You try to follow Canadian blood. I think you follow. Yeah?
Why me don't know what's wrong with you, bro, God, but me know me sister you sell out the country, brother. I sell you sell out the country. You now build the country. I'm in a business what you want to say. Because you're going back with the same bumbo clot lie again. Go and tell the people, like, you know, expect the people, they remember. So you tell them that blood clot 2 times. This is the 3rd time now you tell them, boy, you dismantle light and then you win. You know, dismantle the light. You come again, you know, dismantle light and you use but the same something again. Man, come down, man. Come down, bro, God. Come down. Sorry to say, come down. Yeah, man. Come down, up in the truck.
It is not us who came out and said the Labour Party mash up internally. It was Rosalie Hamilton, a long-standing councillor, a Siaga, Eddie Siaga rights within the Labour Party. It was Kim Brown Lawrence came out and told us of the treatment in the Labour Party, that there's no support in there. It's Rosalie Hamilton who told us that the Prime Minister, the way the Labour Party mashed up, the Prime Minister is in a position where he is going door to door asking workers to work. It's not us that are saying, these are internal things. So it's not people walk and make up things, Charles Simpson, against Andrew Holness. Andrew Holness is giving us an awful lot. If the Prime Minister economic management was shining through so well, the Prime Minister, who is the Minister for the National Works Agency, has allowed Mills, thanks for the share. This Prime Minister has allowed one of the most important things to his good economic management, as he put it, the economic corridor, Prime Minister. You dubbed it as the main thoroughfare in our country. You allow those Prime Ministers to go into disrepair because you have not maintained them. And they've now all fallen apart. And you declare a national emergency, Prime Minister. But you could only pluck up $2 billion. Only $2 billion you can pluck up to deal with what is a national crisis in the country. And we have good economic management. Good economic management. We should be seeing it all along. That's why I say, Carlos, me ask a question before you come. I'm going to ask it again. It looked like the Prime Minister and his wife thief separately. Bear with me here. At no time the Prime Minister embroiled in these stealing and corruption, you ever hear the wife name mentioned alongside the Prime Minister? His mother, his father, his sister, his son, his friend Norman Brown, members of his constituency. Mighty mistake. Keep yourself far from your brother. Because so far, you one what we know of mighty mistake. We're not involved in the Prime Minister passa yet. Mama involved, Papa involved, Picnic involved. The question is, why Jonathan and Andrew Holness steal separately? Only them can answer that question, but it's just a question from me. Why wanna steal separately? Veronica Francis. Well, I can't call the last name, sorry. Why wanna thief separate? I would want to know why no can thief as one. Between them have giant bank account and all that jazz and all them same thing there. But never mind. Or strong, fix the road before you put the 2 big vehicles on it. And people are going to drop hot fire calling down the hand to stop the begging in Jamaica. We can't run a country and begging and borrowing at James. People are going to drop fire pole in our hand and you watch and see. Because all we do is walk and beg, and we're proud to walk and talk about the big sin thing them. $2 billion Prime Minister, Marlene. How are you? Marlene W. You think $2 billion, the disgrace that the roadways are in Jamaica? Right, good morning. You think to say $2 billion can do anything to the mess that our roadways has become nationally? And you declare it a national emergency, Prime Minister. And you declare it a national emergency, and you think $2 billion can fix the problem that you declare, L-Dog Morning, that you declare as a national emergency. Oh, you manage to thief 3 trillion, but you only manage to pluck up 20,000, give away 50 billion for road, because when you put Reach, Spark, and the 2 billion together, it mount up to about 50 billion roughly. About 50 billion roughly. Spark, Reach, and the national emergency mount up to 50 billion. $50 billion Prime Minister that will only look after 6% of our roadways in Jamaica. 6%. Not 60. Not 16. 6% of our roadways. And then on a swindle $3 trillion. No wonder why ISAT say on a thief enough than on say, silly clear.
Coalition would be a resounding yes. There needs to be an impeachment bill. Not only that, that bill should bring with it compulsory signing of a code of conduct, which is binding, contractually binding, so much that a breach would allow the government, in terms of the government of the day, as well as the opposition, that where an MP is in breach of that code, that suspension, sanctions and stuff like that clearly defined as a strict liability mechanism, and as well as the ability to remove members who find themselves running afoul of the law. The current state as it is most unfortunate, because any impeachment bill, certainly a redrafting of that bill, if tabled, would include giving the Integrity Commission the type of teeth that it needs, so that the manner in which the corruption prosecution and the office of the DPP handles these matters would not cause the illicit aid as they are right now to escape the full arm of the law. I'm also of the belief that when the People's National Party wins resoundingly and have the majority in government, that the illicit aid, some of them might find themselves in prison. So I'm not really worried about that, but to also put the standard so high that the persons, you might hear people say, I resign. May I resign tomorrow, y'all? And they have what is called a sunset legislation. We give you time to go on because we know your teeth. So you will have to worry about changing your wig, and you will have to worry about cussing nobody and all the things, and you will have to worry about your filthy mouth and your pretending and your reverse racism, because what if it catch you, it catch you. We'll give you a time to leave, but certainly the standard for Jamaica, if we ever, one could never believe in 2024 where Singapore is, and we were the standard and model of the day for Singapore. So it says to me that the beautiful island of Jamaica, nothing wrong with it, It is the people who cannot help themselves than to steal from the public purse. And then I find it offensive and repulsive that they think that if they give you a little money, it is compensation. It's a little reparation, because we thief enough, but see liquor here, just go and hold on and give we an opportunity for finish.
We thief enough, but silly clear. Give we an opportunity to go and finish wreck the country. Wrecking the country is my word. Because Darrell Vaz and the rest of them say they want another 3 years. Forget for them pick me amount.
There was a statement made when one member of parliament said, we just need a third term so that my kids can experience the life that I live. Not the kids of Jamaica and the people of Jamaica. Just give me a little more time to secure the brightest possible future for my family, not the entire Jamaica. That type of conduct cannot continue. And so because of that, we have to ensure that an impeachment bill is in place, and we have a no tolerance policy for fraud, for trickery, for scamming, for corruption, whatever nice you want to put it. We don't have a theft act in Jamaica. We stay at larceny. So we can say we don't have no space for thief. We have none, and there's nothing. We like to use red herring and smoke screens and all the fallacies, and then attach ad hominem to it and curse the other people. And they like to talk about 18 years. But one must always remember, in the last 19 years of this country, which means a child that has left high school and is entering university has never experienced the 18 years that they love to speak about. That is the People's National Party. That is done and gone with. We are to be strong and resolute in a no corruption policy, and faster than the scammers can be put to prison. We have a non-jury trial for corruption, tried by judge alone and sent off to prison.
Yes. You heard us that spoke about strict liability. What strict liability law leaves is no room for whiffling and tuffling. Strict liability means you cannot plead not guilty and you do not have a defense. A simple way strict liability is taught is by using the example of going through the traffic lights, the red light. You go to a red light, you cannot plead not guilty, nor can you provide a defense for going through the red light, because it's a strict liability law, meaning you just have to pay the penalty for the breach. And we need some of them strict liabilities to rein in government and public officials' corruption. Leave no riddle room for them provide explanation to us. If they cannot provide what the law requires, then they ought to be charged for breaches of that requirement. But beyond that, Bar Rikim or whatever your name, uno can go on with uno nonsense about FinSac. While Nigel Clark promised us FinSac and should have given us the FinSac information to dash and rub in the PNP face, you know what Nigel Clark did? Nigel Clark gave us information to make we know, say, Siaga benefited in billions. Hugh Crosby, when they run the Eagle Group and all sort, we just rub up SSL, we just cause the SSL scandal were there, they benefited millions as well. So when the JLP released the FinSac report properly where we can, through it, I don't care for that nonsense, my darling. I hate we have mouth, for we have mouth to talk stupidness. Just like when the Prime Minister stood in Parliament on the 17th of September and deliberately lied to the nation that he knew nothing about the bank account his parents opened, while at the same time the Prime Minister was passing millions through them. Una always run come up, una no shame our mega there. Because una have to one of the mega, you know. You have to be one of the mega, my dear. You're one of the $5,000 on the backs of chicken, aren't you?
Come on, screen the people. Come on, screen the people. Yo. Yeah, man, Mega know what this fucking up. No know that this disgusting so you Bumbo clot. Yo, Mr. Youth, I want to worst most this stuff. Mega. Cause Mega. I swear to God, bro. All of them come off Bumbo clot, money for Bumbo clot. The money then come off from my side. 254 people. The money then come off.
You cannot write this on the envelope in the account. Then the envelope account. Yeah. The 26. No, 27. 27. Yeah, you drive. I tell them. I want to. No.
No, I'm sure how it come down now. Listen, you see, Mega, I cannot deal with things calm neither. In a real life, although my mother, he not deal with things calm neither. All him to do, I take time and blood clot what he do. He go like into Agish. I swear you. That's why I'm not lock up my life, you know. On the top of the screen for me there. Top of the screen for me there, people. Top of the screen for me there. I watch it this place in my boss.
I'm not one who is afraid of looking into information. My number is on the screen. You can see both of them. 07956 907 089 or 0755 118 3131. Send me whatever information you want me to read. And if you want me to spread labor right propaganda, send me the good information, darling, because so far I'm only coming across the rickety and the ticketies of the Prime Minister. So if you want me to read something, WhatsApp it to me. Ladybug, you're saying there's no sound? Lord Jesus, how are you going now? Patricia Matthews, how are you? I was busy all day yesterday, but I will call you when I get some time later. Ladybug, you say you're not here? Who else not hearing? I hope my system not gone rickety-tickety like yesterday morning. Oh, sound good. Thank you, Kathy. Remember, we just heard Mega and the whole bus full. To remind you all, that was the Prime Minister's bus trucking into conference, but there was a standoff because the people them saying, let's forget the $5,000 what labor usually pay with. Send some love for Patricia, my family. She's not feeling so well. She's in the hospital at the moment, but is expected to be discharged today. Libran Stucker, how are you? Send some love and support for Patricia Matthews, please. Okay. I lack basic reading, thinking, and comprehension skill. This is how you're done, because you so bright, then you can come and dig it up out of your hungry belly. That may a PNP. Anybody talk about the Prime Minister crookedness, them a PNP. Why, if you're a woman, you certainly don't have no integrity and don't have nothing to teach younger generation. If you can see the amount of report with come out against the Prime Minister and him crookedness, and you come argue with me over Mark Golden. From me a little picnic, me know Mark Golden and Peter Bunting around Dairy Bunting and Golden with them friend. From me a picnic. And ask anybody in Jamaica, when Andrew Holness graduated in 1994, he was student loan delinquent. He's a billionaire now, though. So anybody wealth ought to be under scrutiny is more Andrew Holness. We know Mark Golding for ancient time as a businessman. Mark Golding was gained asset from his parent, where Andrew Holness can't tell we're saying again. So if you want me to read something, send it come. But uno don't labor right, who the main thing uno know is bad mind. Uno always come to people page and act stupid and dunce. Because only because uno stupid and dunce, why not come at people page with these nonsense, Go and read. Look for yourself. Why not go war with Cliff Hughes? Because Cliff Hughes certainly, even though he's protecting his tax, he's not really rooting for the Jamaican Labour Party 100%, because he will come out and tell the truth when him for tell The Prime Minister is in a mess, my dear. And no matter how you run around social media and target people's page, it's not going to take the Prime Minister out of the mess, day and age. Just like how taking the Integrity Commission to court is not going to go anywhere to alleviate the Prime Minister's corruption or the Prime Minister's lack of integrity. What the Prime Minister is required to do is follow the law. Do what's right, Prime Minister. But let's remind you who J.C. Hutchinson say you are. Not me, sister, J.C. Hutchinson say, I saw your turn. Anyone I want to say, run, come. I come troll people and I defend the Prime Minister. This is who you are. J.C. Hutchinson describe you well. Listen to who you are.
Many of you would have been seeing a demonstration that went on in Northwest St. Elizabeth. I don't want to go further into it, but I want you to understand, for every election that we have had the people coming out and demonstrating against me. And every election, I have won by a bigger majority.
Hold on, let me respond to that fool, Andrew L.E.N.T. will check me on TikTok. Send your mama come and make me walla over her first. Then anything come after that, me will deal with it. But me want walla over your mama first. Me want walla over your cheap mama, where every little boy and every man pan a corner we have to kick your mama foot out of the way at night time. Pussy and we are come check me. We have to kick your mama foot out of the way at night time to get to pass, because your mama foot always checks across your roadway at night time. I give away ourselves and I collect the money to come make sure you can belch a morning. Pussy go check your careless mama. Who not talk to? Anyway, let's not focus on basic bitches.
Many of you would have been seeing a demonstration that went on in Northwest St. Elizabeth.
Just stop your mama.
I don't want to go further into it.
That's what you need to
but
do.
I want you to understand, for every election that we have had, you have had the people coming out and demonstrating against me. And every election, I have won by a bigger majority.
Only two of them, both brightness and done.
I told the area council a couple of weeks ago that the demonstration was coming, because I call it the pre-election demonstration, because we know it's coming.
Come on, fucking paid with your threats.
And I won't get into the sort of people who are there. But some of them, you help them once, you help them twice, and the time you don't help them, then turn around and cuss you. One of them has sent on farm work, and after 3 weeks, the man come back home, said the work too tough. He can't manage it. And then he now want the MP to support him. Another one you see in the picture, him admit that him got 50 chicken and 5 bag of feed from me. But I never give him the black drum. So you understand the people that I deal with in my constituency. So no matter what happen, they have to come good.
No,
the rest of them who were there get $5,000 and a box lunch.
But Carlos, when them have a debate, I don't mind. But you see, if them come check me, we will send them up in them dark side of them mama. But anyway, when we done the program, I call you. Yeah. Anyway, my people, sorry about that and the monkey farting with the hungry belly labor, right? Them who always run around people page, and this seemed to happen especially after an integrity report. Them come out like flies. There's nothing to defend the Prime Minister about, and I'm making myself look cheap and what get me angry when we should not get angry over on a bullshit anyway. You understand? There's nothing to defend the Prime Minister about. Seriously. There's nothing to defend the Prime Minister about. Sorry about that, Lawrence Wood. Nothing to defend the Prime Minister about. So don't come to my page, come threaten me. Because when you're not threatening me, we go silly pan honor. Because Labour people, Labour supporters, don't come to your page to debate what's in the report or what you're talking about. Old John Crow, old bad mind, old dog shit, go suck your mama or them threatening you. You soon get this coming. Not come here so with it. I'm not afraid of people. Don't come here so with it. If you don't have to kill me, you just have to kill me. But what no one ever managed to do successfully is to gob me. I'm one you cannot gob. I'm a flatterer. I'm a witterer. You cannot gob me. So no, don't come to my page with it. What one should do is go away and hide on a face in disgrace. Because what is happening? Them idiots are there on TikTok. A whole heap of idiot there on TikTok. But sometimes you cannot ignore idiot because see how much life on the back of TikTok cost. Because these people who over TikTok is the worst of hooligans of us. And them feel to say the political violence, everywhere them go, they must advance it. Don't come here so with it. Do not come over here with it. You can advance the violence, but not over here. All right? Junior Hewitt, good morning. Don't come over here with it. The tired of the labor right them, every time an integrity commission report come out, them run round to people paid with them nonsense. I don't want to hear about FinSAC. Nigel promised us, and what Nigel released to us, I'm not going to read it because it's something that school children go browse through and study. Give us the FinSAC report if you don't want us to name off the PNP them head about what they benefited from FinSAC. Provide the report. What we know from what was published, nobody currently sit in Parliament in the People's National Party benefited from FinSAC. Hardly Shaw, though we knew, benefited. Mr. Siaga then benefited. The Crosskris benefited. Just go and read and leave people alone. Go and read. That make on a leader them can only use $5,000 a control, when you don't have road for walk pan, when you don't have food for them, and all that. Holy pound will come pan here, defend the Prime Minister. As you not done, you don't have to go back go call on a relative of foreign beg money. You don't have to go call on a relative of foreign to tap up on a phone. Anyway, See, Neda, Bangarang are coming at the Labour Party. These are the things on if you try and deal with the internal fractions. Sorry, Zeres, how are you? These are the internal fractions that is causing you all to be so disgruntled, because there is major internal division and fractions in the Labour Party to do with, one, Andrew Holness dictatorial leadership, Andrew Holness scraping and raking everything for himself, and he's not assisting the party base. And I say so, a Labour writer say it. The division over seats such as Carl Samoda, where 4 people are go up for it, Mike Henry seat, Audley Shaw seat. There's many things one of a focus on. But tell them to call the general election, you know. Jackie Graham. I tell you to call the general election, because this time is your very best chance. Because we told you all, the Prime Minister, Evan Green, is going to roll from one disgrace, one calamity, one debacle to another. The Prime Minister's electability will not recover. The Prime Minister will not be able to prove to the Integrity Commission or the nation where he got his asset from compared to his legal earnings. Why not go eat off people head off of these things for? Tell on a Prime Minister to do the right thing. Lead with integrity. It is the same reason as to why the Prime Minister asks Wheatley, Worrell, and many others to resign from his cabinet. Floyd Green had to resign because Floyd Green popped a champagne and laughed at us while violating the COVID rules. I know we are making it up. Dalrymple, even though returned with the same old dirt and stain all over her, resigned from the high seat, the speaker's chair, because of the same corruption and thieving. You may have some nicer words for them, like corruption, embezzlement, misappropriation, and they're all looting and shooting, stealing. No matter how you fix them up nice, it is called looting and shooting, in particular to our Prime Minister. It's a looting and shooting whole scale. We've lost track of this Prime Minister scandal. We would want to talk about something else. But every morning we wake up, the Prime Minister furnishes us with another scandal, Stacey. The Prime Minister furnishes us with another scandal. What do you want us to do? Look away and say, boy, we just have to wait for the Prime Minister to do what is right. He's never going to do it. From 1997, and this Prime Minister entered the political spheres with a very corrupt behavior and practices. Your court, which the Prime Minister is in front of, have ruled against the Prime Minister several times and his unconstitutionality. This goes back to even when he was in opposition. I don't make it up. The case is on the Supreme Court website. Andrew Holness, Arthur Williams, and others. But because Ona don't read, or Ona can't read, Ona only listen to media soundbite, or you listen to government narrative, and then Ona run around and torment people with it. Come on, JLP members, get back to the Jamal class. Get back to the Jamal class. It had done good for much of us during those era. And I'm quite certain if you all engage Jamal again, it may be a change, especially in a social media era. We can teach you Jamal online. Just let us know. Thank you very much for being here with us this morning. And sorry to my audience for the outburst of Shirley Duppy the Devil. But then again, all I know my mouth not too good. When I know my mouth not too good, from them stick me up with the gun, never say backside, all that. But anyway, sorry, and thank you very much for being here this morning. Thanks for your support, as always. Margaret Wilson, good morning, and thank you. Paul Bogle, good morning. Thank you all for your support, as always. And remember, join us back this evening for the People's Point of View. As well as keep your eye on the notification. If there's anything pop up that we need to run out, we will certainly do it. But there's more to come, because remember, there are still 7 illicit enrichers out there left to be tabled. Will there be further Christmas present for the Jamaica Labour Party and this government? We yet to see. But if they do not receive Christmas present, surely they'll meet up on hard times in the January hungry, because we know that January is a hungry month, and hungry people are angry people. Good morning and good afternoon from the Global Television Group.
If you don't like missing out on the latest shows but still enjoy classic hits, then Global TV Group 358 is your perfect match. Global TV Group 358 isn't just another channel, it's your ultimate TV experience. From breaking news to binge-worthy dramas and timeless classics, we've got it all. Our unique blend of original content and global favorites means there's something for everyone. And guess what? With GTVG's seamless streaming, you can watch anywhere, anytime. Plus, our interactive features let you be part of the action. So, whether you're a seasoned binge watcher or a casual viewer, Global TV Group 358 is here to keep you entertained day and night. Don't just watch TV, experience it with Global TV Group 358. Subscribe now and never miss a moment.